Good evening.
Welcome.
Hey, Davey. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all over the place.
All over the world.
All over the world. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, we've had a wee bit of kind of up and down couple of weeks.
You're telling me.
You weren't feeling very well last week, and my internet wasn't feeling very well either.
Yeah. I think it's the system realising that we're going and they're just trying to cause problems.
I've inherited an inhaler now.
Inherited or been issued with?
Issued with.
Yeah.
Doctor's giving me one of them. It's blooming cold. I can't get rid of it at all. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We are on the countdown here, really, to be honest. This is the second last Tartan Tune.
Second last live Tartan Tunes.
Second last live one, yeah. But then we're going to have the Hugmanay one as well. And there's lots of videos coming in for that. So that's going to be a really interesting show. That's going to be a cracking night. We'll keep it going as long as we can keep it going, I suppose.
We're going to work backward from midnight. So, yeah, once we've done it, it'll be whatever time it comes on.
Time it and start it whenever. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen at home, wherever you're in the world, remember and let us know where you are. Thank you very much. That would be absolutely wonderful. And can you hit the share button? Hit the share button and let's share that. We have got an amazing, wonderful guest for you tonight. A young lady by the name of Eve Muirhead. Now, you've probably heard of Eve as she was captain of the Great Britain curling team that won the Olympics and all that kind of things, which we'll speak about later on as we go along. But, Davey, what's our connection with Eve?
Eve is also a piper.
A piper.
And is, I don't know if she's still registered, but was registered with the Pitlochry and Bradafel pipe band just up the A9.
Yeah. And apparently she's also a very good golfer as well.
I believe so.
It must be kind of difficult in life when you're so good at things.
I wouldn't know.
No, me neither. So, all these different things. I don't know how she fits it all in. Anyway, listen, we haven't really been on since Trad Awards was on.
No. So let's do what we could do. Let's do the bit of last week's show that we should have done.
Okay.
Right. So wow, what a great night last night looked with the Trad Awards.
Oh yeah, I saw you, Davey, on online freezing your fingers off. Yeah. Freezing your fingers off outside the hall, piping away like a linty.
-3.
Yeah, lovely. Just lovely, perfect, yeah. That.
I know.
So, yeah, that was the Trad Awards. But there was lots and lots of folk up for awards that were guests of the show over the years. And we were wishing them all well.
Oh, and, yeah. The number of folk that stopped and spoke to me while I was piping outside is unbelievable.
Fantastic. Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So we started that, and then we thought, right, we'll try and play a wee bit of Trads. And this was a family we have become quite attached to over the years on Tartan Tunes. Yeah. Father came on first.
He did.
And one of the very early shows. Actually.
First show.
Gordon Shan.
Him and John June.
And then the Shan family, which he's pretty responsible for.
at least 50%.
Yeah, 50% of them. He's have become absolutely amazing. And it was great to see them winning the upcoming act of the year because they're just doing fantastic.
Now, Inver had to do the speech, so let's have a listen to that again.
Let's hear his speech.
The winner goes to the Shans.
I'll let you talk. Well, it's great to be here, and sorry I didn't become a speech because I didn't think we would win, to be honest. But thank you so much for the people who nominated us, and thank you for our family supporting us. They're in the crowd, and also thank you to our tutor Keith Dixon, and for tutoring us all through the years and with us. And also want to thank Gordon Smith, who's in the crowd, for being our drummer. There he is. Us throughout Scotland, so thank you very much for that. And also big thank you to the public for voting for us. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Nice one, guys. Well done.
Really well done.
Well done. Nice one.
That was great speech, though. Great speech.
Now, those that don't know Gordon, he's the typical hard man. He's short and stocky, but yes, he was definitely close to tears there. I don't blame him. It's a fantastic job that he's done with his kids.
I might look that, but he's very gentle, really.
Yes.
Gentle, really. And the wee fellow is just a natural, isn't he? When he wants to stand up and speak, and he's just so funny. I saw him at the Shetland Festival, and some of the jokes he cracked and things were just off the cuff, though, and just fantastic. Really good. They've got a long, long way. They're entertainers, but they're amazing, amazing musicians. For 3 youngsters. So I think we've got a wee track, haven't we?
Yeah. Before we bring on tonight's guest, let's have a wee track from the up and coming artist of the year, the Shans.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, music's pretty safe play, guys like that.
Oh, yeah.
In there. Lovely to see everybody joining us. There's folk from all over the world. There's Mr. Lorne Cousin joining us from Miami. Fantastic.
Lucky for some.
And I noticed somebody from Crawford John joining us there. That's where I was brought up, South Lanarkshire. And when I messaged Mum to say Eve was coming on tonight, Eve Muirhead, she said, put it on the Crawford John page because there's lots of cuddlers on Crawford John.
So, just going to do a run through of all the winners from the Trad Awards. Album of the Year, Duncan Chisholm. Musician of the Year, Julie Fowlis. Singer of the Year, Iona Fife. Live Act of the Year, Trail West. Scottish Dance Band of the Year, Ian McPhail and his Scottish Dance Band.
That was really nice to see Ian's band winning it, actually, because they're also celebrating their 50th anniversary this year of playing. And before I moved to Shetland, I was lucky to play piano with Ian for 2 years. And I was away abroad with him a lot in South America and all that kind of stuff. And I learned an awful lot for that band. Great guy.
Scottish Folk Band of the Year, Blazing Fiddles. The Scottish Pipe Band of the Year, which was the People's Ford Boghorn Basket Caledonian Pipe Band. Up and Coming Artist of the Year, of course, are the Shans. Original Work of the Year is The Clearances Again by Donald Francis McNeil and Skipperish.
Which was featured on the show at one point.
We did.
Angus McPhail played a bit that night.
Club of the Year, The Gathering, South Sessions. Venue of the Year, the Tollbooth in Stirling. Event of the Year, Orkney Folk Festival. Community Project of the Year was the Faith Ross Cayley Trail. Trad Music in the Media was Travelling Folk.
Well, wait a minute. Is that the one that we were nominated for twice?
Yeah, and then not again. Composer of the Year was...
we're always the bridesmaids, David. We make it quite a nice pair of bridesmaids, actually, though, don't we? We're all right.
Composer of the Year this year was Heidi Talbot. Music Tutor of the Year was Donald Ban McDonald from Uist. The Sue Wilson New Writer Award went to Angus McPhail.
Yeah, nice.
Service,
well done, Angus.
Services to Gale Award, John Urquhart. Hamish Henson Service to Traditional Music was Donald Smith. The Janet Paisley Services to Scottish Language went to Frida Morrison. And then a few of the new ones, which are Graphic Designer of the Year, went to Sorley MacDonald. Traditional Music Enabler of the Year went to Barry McLemmon. Photographer of the Year went to Ewan Robertson. And Venue Technician of the Year went to, and this I love this, Gary at the Cayley Place.
Just Gary.
Just Gary. Nobody knows what his name is. It's just Gary.
He must be good at what he does, though. Everybody's voted for him.
That is it. And it's just wonderful to see so many of our guests over the years being nominated.
Gee whiz, there was so many there that and folk we'd had on the show, and it was just really, really nice. It was,
and the wonderful Kenneth McKenzie was up for Composer of the Year as well.
Absolutely. I was going to mention that when you mentioned Kenneth's been an absolute fantastic supporter of the ad. There's a wee video he sent in for Hogmanay that's very special as well.
I've not watched it yet. I've not watched a lot of them. I want to watch them with everybody else.
Wait till you see that one. You'll be wanting some copyright, I'll put it that way.
Oh, really? That's another bag of chips pot.
Are you way to watch it now, aren't you? I can't wait. Let me see this. What is it?
No, I will not. Do you know what? I'll hand on heart. I will not watch it until we do the show. We record the show.
Or you might cry or something in the show then.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely amazing. There's so many folk watching tonight. It's absolutely fantastic. There's Brian Forreston in the Borders. Brian's a great accordion player too. Jamie Starr. Jamie's been with us for the beginning.
Yeah.
Right for the beginning of the show. The piping coach driver. Jamie gets all over the place, but he's never got to Shetland yet. There we go. And that's my cousin, Stuart. He's in Castle Douglas in Dumfriesshire. So it's good. So that's so what else have you been up to this week? We're just waiting on Eve coming, and
not an awful lot, to be honest with you, Peter. Back working away after that spell of illness. That's really it, to be honest with you. Nothing.
Well, I played last night. I was playing last night at a wee local charity concert for the Hall, and it was just local Shetland musicians, and it was great. It was great fun, and it's the first time I'd played in ages, actually. So I've noticed over the time that, we used to play at lots of Christmas dances and things like that up in the way up to Christmas and parties and that, but they don't seem to happen anymore. And I don't think it was COVID that totally killed that off. I think that was happening before. They were declining anyway. But I think COVID just was the nail in the head on this nail thing.
So before we bring on Eve, I think Eve is going to be the second ever guest on Tartan Tunes that music isn't their main background.
Okay.
Could you not have an actor on before I joined? Tony, no, not Tony. What is his name? Scottish actor.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes.
Oh. I'll have to look that back, David. I mind. That's right, though. We did. It was a pally Mick McNeil's for Simple Minds, and he came on the show and done Burns Night for us because he was very good at reciting Burns.
That was what it was.
So it was really nice. So, but the problem with Eve Muirhead is Eve's so good at so many things that it's difficult to tell what to pick, isn't it? But we'll get there.
Peter, on you go.
Absolutely honoured, ladies and gentlemen, to have this lady on the show tonight. It's been something we've talked about actually for the last couple of years. Yeah, her name's been mentioned numerous times. And fortunately, even though this is the second last live show, we've managed to get her. And I think Sharon Kelly deserves a wee helping hand. Did she give you a wee help with that one, Davey?
Yes, she pulled a few strings.
This lady's incredibly famous, as I said, for many things. So let's bring on the one and only Eve Muirhead. Hi, Eve.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. Thank you for having me on. I'm delighted.
Thanks for joining us.
Wonderful that you're on. And luckily for you, I done the build-up tonight, because sometimes Davey's build-ups are...
Sometimes I let the secrets go that people tell me.
But fantastic. Listen, thank you so much for coming on. I know we've put the show forward a wee bit earlier tonight because you're just so incredibly busy. And you were telling us before we came on air that you've just come from Aberdeen and you're now heading... Where are you tonight, actually?
I'm in Stirling. But
you're in Stirling, right.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to do another show for Canada.
Yes.
Straight after this one.
Live from Canada. It's just like...
No, that's right. No,
so
that would be pretty... That would be really impressive. If you could go from Aberdeen to Stirling to Canada in 2 or 3 hours, that would be really cool.
That would be pretty good, wouldn't it?
But anyway, fantastic. Thanks for coming on. Lots of people know you, obviously, which we'll talk about as we go through the show, for the curling. And and a lot of people know you for golfing now as well. But the thing, obviously, with this show is it's a music show. And, kind of music show. We just like to try and be interesting, and you're incredibly interesting because you've got all these different angles. So you are a piper as well.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people at home and that will probably know that so much about you, because they'll ken about the curling and etc. But the piping to them would be a wow. So you said you were. Are you not playing just now so much?
Well, like I occasionally pick up my pipes. I seem to just be a kind of cheap gig for friends' weddings.
That's kind of like me these days as well.
Yeah. No, I think the last time I played them was the Hogmanay show last year and on BBC. But
that was the clip I was looking for. Yes, I remember now.
Wow.
So yeah, like I occasionally pick them up. I'll go get the chanter out a little bit and sit and have a tune. But it's more time nowadays.
That's still quite a good thing to get though. Yeah, well, bagpipes are notorious, need time, don't they?
Well, that's the problem. It's like everything, isn't it? It's the same in my sport as well. Golf, curling. Yeah. Like you can pitch up and play, but it's not going to be great. So if you want to be like that next level, or if you want to be good and consistently good, it's all about time. And the bagpipes, I guess, are very similar to that, and we all know.
Yeah.
Christian Chan used to drum it in, play them every night, and but unfortunately now it's not possible, really.
So
no, I'm kind of
tell
the
us.
same, and it's so frustrating though, isn't it? Because you know what they should sound like.
Oh, I know. You tell
That's
me.
what annoys me. When I pick them up, I go, "This is sounding awful," but I know what they should sound like.
And then they go
But
back in the
it's not
box.
Tell us how
Exactly.
you started off, Eve.
So I must have been only about kind of 8 or 9, and coming from Blair Athol, the Athol Highlanders have their parade every year, and I remember I went out with mum and dad to watch, and I don't know, I remember seeing like the pipe band coming kind of marching down, and I must have made a comment like, "Oh, I'd love to play the pipes," or "That looks cool," and then I think it was my birthday. They said, "Oh, for your birthday, we've got you some lessons to go and start playing like the pipes." And Katie Scott, one of my best friends, she was desperate to start the side drum. So off we went and kicked it off that way. And I'm the kind of person that I'm quite kind of stubborn in the way. If I start something, I don't want to give up. I don't want to kind of fail at it. So I just kept going and going. And a lot of people who I went along with, there was another couple of guys from my class at school that were learning the chant and things, like they gave up, they stopped. But I was just quite adamant to carry on. And it's the same like Katie on the side drum. Like she was off the pad and on the drum and even in the band, like years before me. And even like, so that's a bit like frustrating in a way, because you feel like you're kind of being left behind, and it's quite easy to just give up. So I just kept pushing and pushing.
I think with that, drummers have got it easy. Yeah, I mean,
we can say that.
I'll tell Katie to her face, we'll see. But no, the drummers have got it easy when you think about it. If they can get the basic rudiments out, then they can make the same kind of noise on a drum as everybody else. But with pipes, it's all not only technique, but it's anatomically changing your body as well to be able to blow them.
No, it's a good point.
So don't let it get you down.
It's really interesting when you said that. We had Robert Matheson, the pipe major of Shotts, that was on the show at one point in time, and he was telling us his kind of life story. And when he went which was quite amazing for him, I thought it was really amazing for Robert, was he'd only ever actually played in 2 pipe bands in his whole career. One of them was Kemet and one of them was Shotts. Yeah. And then he'd done one season with Simon Fraser University. Yeah. But that was after he retired being pipe major. But when he went initially to Kemet to learn, it was the snare drum he wanted to learn. And they said, there's too many folk learning the snare drum, but you can go and learn the pipes if you want next door. And that's how he ended up being a piper. Yeah. And it's amazing when you think now where it took him and how he ended up composing so much, etc.
Because the way the lessons kind of worked, it was in my school actually in Pitlochry, and like there was kind of one classroom where you like the real beginners, and then you kind of, once you got to a certain stage, you kind of moved up to the next one, and then the next one, and then and it was like kind of most weeks you're wondering, oh, will I get kind of, will they give me the nod to move up, or and then when you're on the chanter, you're constantly asking every week, like, am I allowed to go in the pipes yet? Can I start the pipes? And but it's so like, I don't think a lot of people realize like what it takes to play the pipes, or how much time. It's not just a case of give yourself a couple of months and you're going to be playing away in the pipes. Like it's a really, really fine art. It is. And I always, like, I'm still to this day, like I'm not a great piper. I'm like your average like piper, but you watch some of the top guys, and it's unbelievable. And
but it's their life though.
It is, but even just to have that ear, like I always as well, when like Sharon and Christy, and they're like within the pipe band, like tuning the drones before you go on and stuff, and kind of hearing like a dodgy E from like the other side of the band and stuff. And it's just it's but I guess everything at that level is like that, like what you say. So it's the same in the sport of curling. Like there's small things like that I guess I'll pick up, and that other people like would be completely oblivious to, and wouldn't really kind of notice that. But it is the small part.
We details.
Let's have a little listen to you playing during COVID.
No,
We're not.
don't
We're all
listen too
friends.
much.
We're all friends here. We're not judging.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
And this is also during COVID as well, so they probably weren't out of the box for a while until the
No,
clap
they
for
most
carers.
definitely. Every week I kept thinking, like the clap for carers when you saw people going up playing the pipes, and I thought, right, 1 week I'm going to do it, 1 week I'm going to do it, and then you'll say, nah, I won't do it this week. I haven't played the pipes. Then another week will come, nah, I won't do it this week. Yeah, and then 1 week I thought, do you know what? So I think it was at 8 o'clock song, so it was about 7:30. I'm like, right, I'll have a quick tune.
Quick tune of the pipes, yeah. So here, let's have a listen.
Well done.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, pipes are sounding better than mine sounded last Thursday night anyway.
They're sounding better than mine at the Chad Awards the other week.
It was -3, right?
It was -3, yeah. I had a lot of condensation in the bag and the drone just stopped. It's like, oh dear.
Yeah, I remember it's like this time of year, isn't it? And like when you used to get engagements with the band and you couldn't feel your fingers, freezing. But so many great memories,
So,
ladies and gentlemen at home, keep sharing and keep your comments coming in. It's lovely to see all these comments coming in. Remember, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask Eve, it's not every day we have a world champion gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist on the show. So if you've got anything you'd like to ask, I thought it was really interesting what you were saying there, Eve, about the fine detail with the. And I suppose that goes across golf and goes across the curling as well. You're going to see details that top professionals will see and you'll see that a lot of people just don't.
Yeah, well, it's like so curling, like everyone assumes like all the stones are exactly the same, but they're not at all. So as a team, you get your 8 stones that you're playing that game with, and every stone is very slightly different that you have to pick up. And like we're talking inches, millimeters. Like a stone could be 2 inches faster. It could curl an inch more. But that could like win or lose you a game, and that's up to us as players to pick that up. So it's like really small details like that. The ice conditions as well. Like you could be like we work in kind of speed in terms of seconds. One end you could be 15 seconds from hog to hog, and then suddenly within a few stones you could be 13 seconds or 13 and a half. So like it's very, very small details, and like
that's
I think sometimes
details.
Yeah, we can like I've been kind of known mid-career that I maybe focused a little bit too much on the kind of finer details, and you forget about the fundamentals sometimes. It's a bit like British cycling always speak a lot about the kind of inches, don't they? So if you think, I guess, like a cake, you get the full 99% being like the cake, and then you get that 1% being the icing. And sometimes if you focus too much on trying to get those tiny little bits on the top, you forget about the main fundamentals, and then it can all go a bit kind of on its head. So it's trying to find that balance. I always found.
Yeah.
So going back to the pipe band, how old were you when you joined the pipe band and were playing and competing in the band?
Oh god, so probably kind of 14-ish. Yeah, it must have been about kind of 14. I remember when I was in the Vale of Athol, the kind of novice juvenile band, like every Monday we had Highland Nights, which like they were fun for the first few, and then very tedious. The same old show going on weekend.
Is that the one in Pitlochry?
Yeah.
But it's incredibly famous. It's world famous, the Pitlochry show.
I bet it is, absolutely. And so it was like, I guess it was events like that got you in the way of kind of marching, I suppose, playing in front of people. And then I think I went to Germany with the Vale as well for for a kind of festival, and played with them for quite a few, several years, and then we went to Lorient as well. Quite a few.
But Sharon Kelly's just put a comment in about that, saying, "Do you remember all the memories of that one?"
Oh, there's lots of memories, to say the least. Yes. No, we had a great fun. Like, those are, to be honest, they're some of my like favorite memories of all time. Like, was back in the day, like with the pipe band, like those kind of good old days when you can, you make new friends, and like I've made so many friends through the pipe band, and it's those memories that last forever, for sure.
Sorry, Sharon just says I'm not telling any stories.
Please do not, absolutely not. It's like me saying curling. It's like what goes in tour stays in tour, and definitely in the pipe band, what goes away stays away.
That's right. But do you know something? I remember my memory of going to France to play as well with the pipe band was getting left at a service station. And the bus took off, and then they got about 5 miles down the road and realised they'd left me.
Oh,
I can beat that one, Peter. We left the guy in Berlin. And we left. Dear. We ended up at, I think we got him at, what's the ferry? We got him at Rotterdam.
Oh, Rotterdam, yeah.
He had to make his own way by train.
Eve, did you know people? You would have known Gary West and Malcolm Robertson and all them that were playing with the Vale then at one
I've
point.
heard, I've definitely heard the names, yeah.
They'd be before your time, probably, actually.
Yeah, I've heard the names. Then when the kind of Vale split and Pitlochry and Blair Athol started, like that was such a great little kind of group of people in the Pitlochry and Blair Athol band, and then that kind of expanded, and we went to France, to Lorient with those guys, and like I still keep in touch with a lot of them, and still keep see how the band's doing. Actually, I went to the Scottish this year with them on the bus, because like those are some of the best times, aren't they? The kind of
absolutely brilliant.
The competition's over.
So you're the reason it was raining then?
Oh, it was miserable, wasn't it?
It was awful.
It was, yeah. It wasn't the nicest weather, was it?
No.
So when you were competing with Blair Athol band, they went up to, was that about grade 3 you were playing in, was it?
I think we got to about 4B. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it was roughly about that.
That was the start of the band when it was going and competing. Did you enjoy competing? Well, this is going to be an interesting one because.
Well, yes, absolutely, but
obviously you've competed in everything. You're competitive. There's no doubt about that. So we know that. But I was wondering, did you like doing that?
Yeah, I did. I did love it, and like it must be some of the most nerve-wracking times when you're standing in that start line in a pipe band, because I think it's more like you could let so many people down, and I understand, like, I'm in a team sport, there's 4 of us and you can let the team down the same, but when you're standing in a pipe band and there's like 25 odd of you, and like you're one little drone squeak or something at that on the start, it's quite it's like those are some of the most kind of nervy times I think I've had, but I actually think that helped me in everything else I do. I think going through those times of being out your comfort zone, being out under pressure, not wanting to kind of fail, like putting yourself under that adrenaline, I think it's definitely helped me for everything else that I do. Because I remember, like, it was with the Vale, like there was always a yearly competition at Fisher's Hotel in Pitlochry, and it was just in the chanter, like it was just kind of beginners. And I remember before, like, I think I was physically sick. I was that nervous, like I mean, a shaking wreck. And you're just going up to play like Wings or something. Like, it was nothing. Like, you look back now, but when you're a little kid, doing that in front of like 20, 30 people in a room with a judge just staring at you. But it's moments like that, I think, that do definitely make you like stronger and make you like more resilient as well.
And that's actually my argument all the time for not just piping, but all musical instruments in schools, etc. And if anybody gets the opportunity to play, it opens up so many doors. And it's not just the skill of playing the music that is going to learn you. As you're saying, it's going to learn you how to control yourself. It's all sorts of things.
Oh yeah,
how to be sociable, how to speak to people.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's, as you say, it's not just a case of playing the music. Like, you're in an environment that you've got to be a team player. Like, you've got to support each other. You've got to, you put yourself through a lot to get there. And I think it's more than just the actual playing. There's so many positives come out of it. Definitely.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I remember when you're saying very quickly, David, sorry, before you said that,
sorry?
When you're talking about, I earned myself a course in bagpipe maintenance once, because you were talking about standing in the line. My chanter fell out on the line one competition, and I picked it up and played and got away with it. How I got away with it, I'm not very sure.
Oh, see, it's like little things like that, or your drone coming out, or that was
just not getting struck in. That was always my fear.
Oh yeah. Or then when you're starting playing, you start thinking about your other pinky. Oh, like
what's going to do?
No, I've never done that. I never thought.
As soon as someone mentions that to me, then you start thinking of your left pinky, and it just all goes.
No, the question I was going to ask Eve was, what's your thoughts on the difference between pipe band and competitive sport, where an adjudicator's response at a pipe band is their own opinion, where a sport is following a set of rules and kind of strict kind of guidance? What's your thoughts on how you feel about either side of it?
Yeah, like
I told Eve there wasn't going to be any difficult questions before this interview, and then you come up with.
It's not a difficult question.
I've never really thought about, to be honest. I guess I've always been in a sport that you either win or you lose, don't you? And of course, like, you come off after a pipe band competition, you get your three judges, your drumming, your piping, and your ensemble, and obviously people agree, people disagree, and when it's like that, it can always be quite controversial as well. I guess there's always judges that I don't know if they do, but you could slightly favour someone, you might not, which I'm sure goes on a little bit. But where I'm from in sport, you win or you lose. So there's like, you can't have anything controversial. But I guess music, you can't. It's physically not possible. To do it any other way, really. It'll be interesting. Like, I don't know what it's like. Like, you'll know more than me when it comes to the pipe band world, when it comes to judges and things. Like, is there a time comes where that judge's time's kind of up and you bring in some new blood, some younger people? Like, I think
so. Yeah, I agree. I think so. Yeah. To an extent, sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes when you see the same old faces for 20 plus years, like, to get a bit of kind of new fresh blood's never really a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing is the music's evolving all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Moving. Yeah, and it's the same in sport. Like, sports are evolving all the time, and it's getting to the stage now that there has to be limits kind of put on it. Like, you see the golf now, they're putting a limit on what kind of ball the pros have to use.
Oh yeah, I saw that through the week. Yeah,
because they're hitting it so far. It's like technology. Curling, when it came to the sweeping, like the kind of fabric they were using on the brush, they were working out certain ways you can sweep that manipulated the stone so much, in theory, you could hardly miss, because it was more or less like digging a trench in front of the stone for the stone to follow. So, like, there has to be guidelines put in at, like, somewhere, if you know what I mean. But then I guess piping or music, science as well, and that's where the skill comes out of it. Completely comes out of it. Skill and talent. So
let's break.
Where did you go, Davey?
Pub. 2 seconds. I'm back. Hello.
It's all right. Hello again. Hello.
Let's have a quick break for a video. Here we go.
Yeah. What an achievement. Wonderful. Fantastic.
Funny
Let's
watching
go.
that, actually.
Yeah.
My
Let's
headphones
go there.
cover some time.
Let's
No,
go.
it's-
Let's go curling. Let's go curling.
Let's go curling. Yeah.
Um,
So pipe band started.
See, when I lived in Carbridge, straight
Yeah.
across the road from me, there was this like really shallow-looking swimming pool, and it was there for years, and I never knew what it was. And it was a curling rink apparently. at
Oh,
one
was
point in
it?
time. They used to pour water in it and play. So
Yeah.
and down in the area I was saying to you earlier before I come on, Crawford John, where I came from, there was a lot of the farmers and their wives. My dad was a gamekeeper there, but there was lots of farming people seemed to be into curling, and they all went and played lots of curling.
Yeah.
So where did the curling come in? What age were you when that started then?
Yeah, so to be fair, I was probably similar age. I don't know how, like, I look back and I don't know how I fitted it all in, if I'm honest, like curling,
Yeah.
golf, bagpipes. But yeah, probably a similar age. Like my dad, he was a curler, and that's probably what inspired me to take it up. And we were lucky we got a bit of curling within PE at school, and
Really?
the rink being in Pitlochry, like 10 minutes walk from the school. So it was
Wow.
something after school, like I'd be like, oh, is there any spare practice ice? And they'd run down, and like I would honestly have thrown like hundreds of stones as a youngster, and like I wonder why I've had hip surgery and everything now when I look back. But
I was actually going to mention that at one point. It doesn't look the most physical sport in the world, but it must be extremely physical, because even some of the positions you're getting yourself into to throw these stones.
Yeah, I think over the years that's changed. Definitely, it's definitely become a lot more kind of physically demanding, and I think it's kind of proven now that you do need that strength. And I think you look at some of the best teams in the world now, and it's more or less like who can be the fittest, who can be the strongest to make the most impact, like on that stone, on the brushing. More kind of stability, single leg drive, shoulder power, like Olympic lifts for a lot of like explosive power, interval training. Like it really has developed a lot over the years.
So tell us, you done a bit at school, but then did you go to a local club then? Is that how this network started?
Yeah, more or less. After school, and then slowly I'd be selected for like kind of regional academies, and then you'd kind of get put in a younger team, and then maybe national academies, and then you'd maybe compete in the Scottish Junior Champs, and then win the Scottish Junior Champs, and then you'd be in the ladies, and then maybe do well in that, and you just kind of progress yourself up through the ranks over the years. To be honest, it used to be some of the most nervy times was telling Christy Kelly that sorry, but I can't play like the Scottish or the Worlds this year, or the Europeans, or I can't go to Cowl Games or something because I had a competition on. And it's when that became too much that I couldn't do both. Like I was quite selfish to try and think that I could just kind of turn up and still play like events that I could play and not kind of be committed to them all.
Yeah,
I think you touched and said that earlier on, though, didn't you? That you're a bit of a perfectionist and you like to see things right through, and you want to do the best you can.
Well, I am, absolutely.
So,
and
so in that situation, you had to kind of give something up a bit to pursue that dream.
And I also had to kind of move away from Blair Athol as well to pursue my curling if I really wanted to, or unless I sat in a car for like an hour and a half twice a day every day. So like, something had to go, and unfortunately it was the piping and it was the golfing. Golf was a little different. Like I knew I was never probably going to make it to the very top in that, but piping was one thing that I really do miss. I miss the social side. I miss seeing all my friends like that are in the pipe band, and just like the banter. I really do. I also loved it as well. Like it's a great thing to do to kind of to keep you kind of healthy as well, fit and healthy. Like it's tough. It's very tough. Like, I'll go and pick up my pipes now, and I can't play for more than 2 or 3 minutes without my lips going. It's like when you're not used to it. So
I know that feeling. Don't worry.
I know it very well.
But so when did the dream start to become reality then did you actually plan this? Did you start to think, oh, wait a minute, right, I've won the Scottish, right, I'm in the women's, we're heading for the Europeans, we're maybe going to do championships. Was there a point in time that it broke in? Because, I mean, we're kind of spoiled, aren't we, in Scotland with curling, because, I mean, it is a Scottish sport, I suppose, in a way, really, isn't it? And I mean, even though you were representing Great Britain, I remember one night playing in the lounge. The lounge bar up here in Shetland's the famous one for all the sessions, for the music sessions. And Rona Martin and her team were up. They were up opening something. And I remember their gold medals getting passed around the lounge that night. So I've actually held a gold medal. So
there you go.
But I remember seeing a television program just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was on the television, and I watched it about that curling.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, there is a documentary out, isn't there?
And how she talked about how she focused. She just purely focused and said, "We're going to do this."
Yeah,
and
like
I think you're of that mindset, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, you need to put like blinkers on as such, and like I wanted to be like, there was people who were better than me when I was younger, and I was wanting to chase their tails and be better. So I did absolutely everything I could to be better and to be the best curler in Scotland. And then when, as you say, like when you get kind of progress to Europeans and things, like funnily enough, I saw memories, like it was 12 years ago today that I won my first European title. But just, it's unfortunately, success isn't linear. Like you're always going to come down after a win, usually. And it's those times that are probably the hardest. And probably mid my career, I got to the stage that I was probably scared to lose. And I wasn't really like that kind of fearless competitor anymore that just gave everything a go and wasn't wasn't scared of losing. And I reckon that's the difference when it came to the Beijing Olympics. Like I was older, probably in the back of my mind, I knew it was going to be my last games. It was my 4th Olympics, and I enjoyed it, and I just gave everything a go. I wasn't scared to make mistakes, because believe you, maybe made a lot of mistakes that week. And I just, as I say, I just gave everything a go, kind of believed in yourself. I'd done a lot of work to get myself there. And enjoyment is usually the best recipe for success.
Yeah.
I mean, for all our viewers across the world, I mean, your prep time, to give them an idea, how much were you playing and practicing?
Oh, like I'd be in the gym. I'd be on ice twice a day, 5-6 days a week, and I'd be in the gym. I'd probably do about 9 sessions a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was the kind of person that if I would maybe stay for an extra 10 minutes, throw another 20 stones, because I knew like I'd probably sleep a bit better at night if I just did that bit more. The gym, I'd maybe just do a couple of extra sets, knowing that I'd gone that a little bit further. Like Christmas Day, I'd probably go out a run, knowing that my competitors wouldn't be doing that. Like it's just really small things that I did just to get that kind of step ahead.
Yeah.
Davey, see, when I stopped piping, I didn't quite get into the gym like that.
Yeah.
No.
It's interesting. You said, did you say you'd had to have hip operations and things?
Yeah. Yeah.
It flashed up in my phone the other day. I got a replacement hip 13 years ago the other day. So I've had it for 13 years now. And
I got mine in 2018, just after the Olympics.
Right. Do you think that was wear and tear from playing?
Yeah, there was quite a lot of different factors, but that's probably the main one. I had like a bone spur and a teared labrum, very similar to what Andy Murray had.
Right.
Yeah. I suppose it's just one of these things you deal with as a sports person.
Well, that's the thing. It's there's hardly any top class elite athletes that don't have some kind of injuries and problems. Like it kind of goes part and parcel, doesn't it? Unfortunately, you push your body that much, there's always going to be some kind of consequences.
We are aware we're running short on time, so we'll just quickly jump over to your golf. You seem to be doing a bit more kind of golf work at the moment, be it talking about golf and talking about curling and a bit more playing. I believe you're still playing off of 2.
No, well, I'm officially, I think, off 3. Like I am growing up. I don't play much now, if I'm honest. Like it's a sport that it's such a great sport to be able to play because like you're outside, like you're in the fresh air. You're like I think for your mental health, for your physical health, everything. It's got so many benefits. And from a youngster, as we've said, like I am that kind of person that gives everything a go to the best of my ability and the best I can do. So it's a sport that I'm very grateful that I can play now, but I'll get frustrated when I do play and I don't play well. So it's like goes round in a bit of a circle because then I don't want to play because I know I'll play rubbish.
I couldn't understand golf because when I went to the driving range, we had a driving range up here in Shetland for a wee while, and you hit a shot and it seemed to be okay, and you thought you'd done exactly the same thing the next time, and it was rubbish.
And it doesn't. Absolutely, I know honestly it's the most frustrating sport. But I'm quite lucky that I get invited to a lot of like nice courses and things. But I play probably a handful of times a year now.
Have you ever been to Shetland?
I do not know. I don't think I have. No.
Well, once we get you up to Shetland sometime, we've got 3 courses up here now. There's 2 18-hole courses and there's a 9-hole. And there's an 18-hole course out in the island of Walsa. And it's a beauty of a course. That's where all the big fishing boats harbour up out there and things. And they have a competition every year in the middle of the summer on the longest day in the year. They call that Summer Dim up here. And they play through the night. They get to play golf right through the night because it's light enough. Because there's it's light through the night. So if it's a decent night, so they play golf the whole night. So there you go. You could come up and play golf by night.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Very cool.
Eve, I said we don't know you're short on time tonight, so we're just going to kind of we've got a couple of videos to play after. One of them is yourself being the sign holder for the Lochlean Pipe Band.
That's what I'm best now, holding the signs, not with the pipes in my hand.
That's a good job. It's a good job. You don't have to worry about it. See, in the olden days when we used to go to Cowell Highland games, all the little kids used to stay down.
Cowell.
Yeah, well, the bairns used to be down at the bottom in the big park, when you got off there, and all the signs for the bands were there. And the bairns used to run and grab out and then look for a band so as they could walk up. And then you had to pay them a $5 at the top of the street or something like that. It was great.
$5 a lot back then. Again, Eve, thank you very much for taking time to join us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I think it's been a different style of chat tonight, but still we have kind of kept to the traditional music and piping a lot of it, so that's been good.
And Davey, and I think we should mention we've had one of the highest viewing numbers.
We have been really busy tonight.
You've drawn the crowds in, Eve. You've drawn the crowds in.
But thank you much for joining us, and good luck with whatever you do in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Eve. You take care. Take care.
Cheers.
All the best.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing
that
person.
Video before we go.
Amazing person.
Here we go.
Sorry.
Thank you.
smashing sound and band sound there as well. Lovely.
That was 2022. That was last year's Pitlochry Highland Games. At the
Yeah.
start of the games, every band must play down the street before they compete.
Yes, yes. I remember doing it with Stromness Bike Band when I played with them
Yeah.
about 10 years ago and went to
Pain.
march on the street.
In the bum.
What?
It's a long day, and it's in September as well, so it can be either really warm or really wet. But
Great fun,
no, it was really good.
yeah.
I think like all the responses coming through are saying the exact same thing. Very interesting hearing from Eve, and I think
Yeah, absolutely.
that's probably the first time Eve's been interviewed about her piping more so than the sport.
Yeah, I
And
would
I think-
imagine so.
And I think that we learnt a lot about her mindset as well,
Yeah,
and what has been.
and very, very similar for both things. And what's enhanced
Yeah.
other, she's taken bits out of one and made it work for the other. And
Oh yeah,
it's
and
good.
I mean,
Brilliant, yeah.
even things like having the drive and the determination in one and using that in the other. It's just brilliant. And I think
Yeah,
I wish I'd had that mindset when I was starting off with the piping, because
yeah.
I might be better than I am now.
I wonder if her competing with the curling set her mindset up to go with the piping that way a wee bit as well, and whatever. Maybe just all.
I think it's probably the other way around. As you mentioned, it was
Yeah,
you're standing in the line. So much can go wrong.
yeah.
There's so many things can go wrong, but not just yourself, but the person beside you, the person behind you.
Absolutely, it's not so bad as well if that happens when you don't like anybody in the band, but but when you genuinely quite like some of the guys, you don't want to let them down. Guys
I'm
and
not,
girls.
sure I'm not sure if it's a Dundee thing, but have you heard of the Magic Circle?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you later.
Oh, no, okay. That's all right.
Last week we were supposed to have the wonderful Gaelic singer Saffron Hanvage on, and unfortunately, due to my illness, your internet problems, and her internet problems again, we were unable to have her perform and join us.
For sure. Yeah.
What we're going to do tonight, just so folk can kind of find out a bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's play one of Saffron's tracks because she
Yeah.
sent them all in.
So here's one of the tracks from Saffron, and then once we've done this, we'll come back and we'll discuss next week and Hogmanay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Shemolach ma yilmeth, Shemohezet gilemet, Shina shalach hatueth mihen, on the amiga ma yilmet. Vami nam vaijin hef, Nish ha mi van drach wachen stee, Mochela terugnen hoon getereen, had ning land good ye then ken. Shemalach ma yilmer, Shemohezet gilemer. Sheena shalav chatuet mihen, on the amiga ma yilmer. Hamisha fallen baron, a kayat the ace a shillig yath, it's gaskin yechen gillikod, it's hanya skill that's more malon. Shemolach ma yilmer, Shemohezet gilemer, Shina shalav chatuet mihen, on the amiga ma yilmer. Math gachwas aloivrachok, oi get the gas the hulladoi, Seva sy'n aif just galon. Shem o lych mo hyn y mer, Shem o hesed gil y mer. Shin a shalaf chadwad mi hen, on the amiga mo hyn y mer. A chwar sich leichiad ciodd, is lian I stop yn lanydd bord, land hoddach ysgwn sgialedd bron, all a slant molo ein chodd. Shem o lych mo hyd y mer, Shem o hesed gil y mer. Shin a shalaf chadwad mi hen, on y chyfwam mo hyn y mer.
Lovely singer.
Lovely.
Yeah, really nice singer. You know, we got a few tracks with Saffron. We could maybe get one popped onto the Hogmanay show as well, maybe.
Yes, I think that would, it'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
because it's really appreciated.
Next week, we had
Luna's made it.
Luna's made it. Hello, Luna. We had
Luna's
this whole thing planned, which is a rough way of saying we know what we're doing. And the last three, the last three guests, or all three guests in December, were to be female. To kind of to represent. That's what we're going for. Just luck of the draw. Yeah. We would have Saffron last week, Eve this week, and we have.
And next week we have
wonderful Gaelic singer Kearney joining us. Hot on the heels of our gig last night at the Hydro in front of 10,000 people.
Hooli in the Hydro.
Hooli in the Hydro, which is on BBC Alba from 9 o'clock tonight.
Oh yeah, cool. That'll be something to watch with a cup of tea.
Yep. Which is not the reason why we're finishing early. It was for Eve, but works out nicely.
Yeah. The reason we were finishing as well early for Eve tonight was she had another show to do, ladies and gentlemen, and she was telling us there was a big event in Canada and she's doing some kind of
talky stuff.
Talky stuff on it.
Because she is a media personality now, really.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So that's next week.
Kind of like us.
We've got a personality.
Yeah, we're sort of we're mediocre. Mediocre,
not media. Yeah. Mediocre personality.
So we've been consistently mediocre for 3 years.
And that's a talent in itself. We have strived to hit that middle bar. And
we haven't went up and down or anything. No. We've just sat in the middle.
If you try too hard, you fail.
Just a safe bit in the middle.
Yes, so next week will be our last live show. So please join us and send in your love, etc., etc. We will then be pre-recording our Hogmanay show because Peter is busy being a gigging musician again.
Yeah, well.
At least look happy about it.
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? Yeah, delighted.
I might get a gig as well, to be fair, but I've not played pipes. Oh, I won't take one, actually.
Yeah. No. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
So yes, and we have we've already got videos in from guests going back to day one when it was just you and Ross. Yeah, we've got lots of. There's going to be loads of good stuff for you that night, and folk have come on saying a wee bit sometimes about tartan tunes, and then we'll be playing tunes, and some folk have sent in playing tunes, and some of the real big guests, which has been really nice that they've bothered to make the time to do that as well. Yeah, well, that's it. That is exactly it. I mean, we're very humbled by the response from some of our guests. What are you seeing? What's up? You seeing a ghost?
Okay. My battery just said it's running low, but I'm plugged in and I don't understand it.
Well, no, it's okay. We're fine. We're fine. So yes, join us next week for the wonderful lovely Kim Kearney, and then on Christmas Eve we'll have nothing. So please have a nice Christmas with your families and loved ones where you can, or whoever you're spending your time with. And we will see you for the last time on Hogmanay.
And one thing that's become a bit relevant, there's a lot of folks in there really going to miss the Sunday nights. So leave it with us. We're having a wee break for a wee while, but we may come back and do occasionals, and you'll be able to pick them up. But we might come back and just do something. If something happens, we might get update Davey.
In the event either myself or Peter in the same room, we will do something.
Yeah, we might do a show together for the same room. That would be fine, wouldn't it?
That's what Bruce does, isn't it?
Yeah, for all these years I've been sitting in my cold shed and you're sitting there in your centrally heated house.
It's a lovely house.
Yeah. It's not too bad tonight because it's not freezing outside, but it was -8 up here last week. That's pretty cold for Shetland.
It's cold for anywhere. It's cold for a freezer.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Having Eve on, Eve Muirhead was a wonderful guest to have on, and join us next week.
Lauren Cousin sent me a picture. I want to share it with everyone. He said he's on the beach in Miami. Here's proof. He's watching the show on a beach in Miami. How the other half live.
I could go to. I have a beach about 2 minutes walk from my house here, but the chances are you could get eaten by a polar bear or something because it's so cold. So, anyway, brilliant. Listen, thanks very much, folks. Thank you, Davey. We'll see you next week, folks. Take care. And back to 8 o'clock next week.
Back to normal time, yes.
Yeah. See you soon. Cheers.